driver's seat, it's the 2008 Jeep Grand Cherokee. This is a CDI, which means it has a diesel engine under the hood. Now, half of the cars sold in Europe today are diesels. It's Europe's answer to global warming and fuel efficiency. You'll also find this diesel engine made by Mercedes-Benz in their E-Series, their ML, and their GL. Dennis?
You know, the thing about a Jeep and a diesel is it's probably the strangest combination of two things you'll ever see in the auto industry. Now, sure, it's a very well-mannered vehicle on-road, and obviously it's a Jeep, so you know it'll go off-road. But combining V8 pulling power with fuel mileage of a 6-cylinder is a first ever for Jeep. We're going to take a look inside, we're going to take a look on the outside, but for now, let's take a look under the hood.
Underneath the hood of the 2008 Jeep Grand Cherokee CDI, you'll see this CRD engine, and that's the common rail diesel, but it's not the common rail diesel of years gone by. It chugged out soot and was purring every time you stopped at a stoplight. This actually has great times, 0 to 60, 7.9.
And it's not just about the performance, it's about the way it drove. You know, before I get into the numbers, I'm going to refer back to an experience I had with Scott Brown from Chrysler Communications. He sat in with us at the Mudfest. Now, what we did was drive this vehicle in adverse conditions, now supplied by the manufacturers. We slid it in the gravel, we drove up and down hills, and I can tell you this, first and foremost, it is a Jeep and it's capable off-road. When you add in the fact that it has 376 pound-feet of torque, that can tow up to 5,000 pounds and get 25 miles per gallon, I tell you this, if you're looking for performance, off-road performance and mileage, this might be the vehicle for you. Well, you know, it's a Jeep, so it's got two things that every Jeep's always had. One is 7 slats in the grille. The other is, as true Jeeps go, round headlights. Well, they're not quite fully round, but they are round. You know, the thing about Jeeps are they're very square, they're very mannish, they're very masculine in their design studio as far as the way that they present them to the public. You know what? I think it's great looking. It's aggressive in a way that can also look good when you go to dinner with your wife or husband. Now, for me, I might have one opinion, but my friend at the other end of the vehicle might have another.
Do you remember the old Cherokee, the big square box on wheels? Well, that was replaced by this, the Grand Cherokee, and as years have gone by, the Grand Cherokee has become more smoother, more rounded, but it's still maintained that manliness. That can be seen here in the wheel wells. Very square, very manly, and meaty for your off-road runs. There's one thing you want to look for when you look at a Jeep, and that's to make sure it has one of these badges on the side. Now, most of them do, but the trail-rated badge means that this vehicle can do just a little bit more off-road and can take you in those places a regular vehicle may not be able to.
Of attributes that Jeeps have. Off-road capability in this new CDI model, great fuel mileage and power at low RPMs. But when you move to the interior, unfortunately, though useful, there's a lot of shortcomings. Inside, there's a lot of plastic, and the interior, again, though useful, needs to be updated dramatically. You know, when you look at some of the equipment in here, it's there. Power windows, power door locks, heated seats. Sure, it's available to the buyer, but you know what? It just feels, I hate to say it, but very dated.
Sad to say, the one thing missing in the back of this diesel Grand Cherokee is the fact that there's no legroom. And there's not much else in the back here. A cup holder, a door opener, and some vents. Apart from that, the electronics are missing too.
A time in our auto review segments where we take a look at the vehicle all the way around and we come up with 2 ups and 1 down, this time for the 2008 Jeep Grand Cherokee CDI. Nick?
My 2 ups for this vehicle are fairly simple. It's a thumbs up for Chrysler for coming up with this diesel engine. Not necessarily coming up, but at least putting it on the road. It's very good to see them doing things apart from E85 and things apart from hybrid engines. I like to see that. They're advancing. We did have a Liberty once upon a time in a diesel, but it's nice to see going this direction. My other up for this vehicle is the off-road portion. The trail-rated vehicle really is capable off-road. I like to be able to drive it off-road and be secure in knowing I can get out of almost any situation I get into. My downside for this vehicle has got to be the price. The price is way too high. An extra $3,000 for the diesel, and then when you put all the price together, looking at some European or some Japanese vehicles that are in the same, I would say, category as this vehicle, I'm not sure that this would be my first choice.
Well, I have to agree with you on price. It's a little bit high, and I'll get to that as one of my ups, I guess, is the other side of what you'll see in the future. Scott Brown from Chrysler Communications told us that they, in so many words, kind of goofed up by making it only in a limited model. Now, that's not to say that next year they're going to have a Laredo that'll be about 37, 38 grand. That will turn those buyers on. The other side is my two ups that do mimic yours. It's the off-road capability combined with the power of the diesel and the fuel mileage of almost 25 miles per gallon. You wrap a lot of package into one vehicle. Now, my downside is going to be on the interior. The material choices are just kind of plasticky. The interior is really the Achilles heel of the Grand Cherokee. That is also slated for an upscale swing here in the next couple years. But overall, it's a great vehicle. And that, I believe, is a wrap-up on our review of the 2008 Grand Cherokee CDI. The Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4x4 CDI comes standard with a 3-liter V6 turbo diesel engine and a 5-speed automatic transmission. The base price is $37,645 with an as-tested price of $42,845. The city mile per gallon EPA rating is 21 and the highway mile per gallon EPA rating is 25.
Here are the guys that make miles around possible. The Russ Auto Group, Baxter Auto Parts, Northside Ford, Ray Reese Dealerships, 4-Wheel Parts Performance Center, Grand Prix Imports, and J. Lee's Auto Group. Thanks, guys.